The phone call had ended. My editor's words still rang in my ears. Excitement and trepidation battled within me. It was time to delve back into the manuscript. I paced the hallway, phone clutched in my hand. Then I saw her, a wisp of white, a ghostly figure. She was gliding towards the attic door. It was not a reflection or a trick of the light. This was an apparition. My heart pounded. Fear pricked at me, yet I couldn't turn away. This house held secrets. I always knew it. This ghostly figure, this presence, was a harbinger, a messenger from a realm beyond our own. My hand trembled, yet I felt strangely drawn to the attic. The attic door was always locked. A thick chain and padlock secured it. Now it stood slightly ajar. A sliver of darkness beckoned me forward. The air grew cold. I could feel a presence. It was like an invisible hand pulling me towards the unknown. I took a step, then another. Each footfall echoed in the silence. The air grew heavy, thick with anticipation. The musty scent of old wood and dust wafted from the opening. It was a smell I knew well, yet it seemed different now. More potent, more oppressive. The spectral figure had vanished, but the feeling of dread remained. I took a deep breath and stepped across the threshold. The attic was shrouded in darkness. A single dusty window offered a sliver of moonlight. The air was thick with the weight of ages. Cobwebs clung to every surface. Like spectral fingers, they reached out from the darkness. The floorboards groaned under my weight. Each creak sent shivers down my spine. In the dancing shadows, I could almost see her, the ghostly figure. She seemed to beckon me deeper into the attic's depths. The scent of decay was overpowering. It was the scent of forgotten things, of secrets hidden away and left to rot in the darkness. My heart pounded against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the silence. Still, I pressed on, compelled by an unseen force. I ran my fingers over the dusty surfaces of forgotten furniture, feeling the grit and grime of years gone by. Trunks piled high, their contents a mystery, each one a potential treasure trove of stories waiting to be told. Each item whispered of bygone eras, of times when they were cherished and used daily, of lives lived and lost, captured in the faded photographs and personal items scattered around. The attic held a certain energy, a mix of nostalgia and melancholy that was almost tangible. A palpable tension that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end, as if the past was watching me. I stumbled upon a trunk tucked away in the corner, hidden from plain sight. It was different from the others, standing out with its intricate designs and ornate details. It was smaller, more ornate. This trunk felt significant. I could sense it held something important, something personal. My breath caught in my throat as I reached for the latch, anticipation building with every second. It was cold to the touch, sending a shiver down my spine, as if the metal itself held the chill of the grave, a reminder of the passage of time. The trunk creaked open, releasing a musty odor and a flurry of yellowed papers. They were notes, aged and fragile, handwritten and filled with frantic scribbles. The ink faded, but the emotions still clear. The name Gigi was scrawled across several pages, a name that seemed to echo through the attic, begging to be remembered. Section 5. Whispers from the Grave. Gigi's notes and the unraveling mystery. Gigi. The name sent a shiver down my spine. Gigi was a local legend, a young woman who had been brutally murdered decades ago. Her case remained unsolved. My blood ran cold. These notes, these whispers from the past, were potentially explosive. They were clues to a crime that had haunted this town for years. The air crackled with anticipation. I carefully lifted the notes, their fragility evident. The handwriting was elegant, desperate. They spoke of a love affair, a secret rendezvous, and a betrayal that chilled me to the bone. As I read, I could almost hear Gigi's voice. a desperate plea for help echoing through the years. It was clear these notes held the key to understanding her tragic fate. Section 6. A figure in the shadows. Intruders and unanswered questions. The night was still, the air thick with an unsettling quiet. A sound pierced the silence, sharp and unexpected, like a knife slicing through the dark. Footsteps creaked on the attic stairs, each step echoing ominously, sending shivers down my spine. My heart leaped into my throat. I was not alone. The realization hit me like a cold wave, paralyzing me with fear. I froze, my blood turning to ice, every muscle in my body tensed, as if preparing for an inevitable confrontation. The footsteps were heavy, deliberate. Someone was coming, and their intent felt menacing, almost palpable in the air. Someone who didn't want me to uncover Gigi's secrets. The shadows seemed to whisper warnings, urging me to flee. Fear propelled me behind a towering stack of old paintings. I crouched low, trying to make myself as small as possible. Their canvases stared back at me with hollow eyes, as if they too were witnesses to the unfolding terror. The footsteps stopped just outside the attic door. The silence that followed was deafening, filled with anticipation. A sliver of light appeared as the door creaked open. The creaking sound was slow, deliberate, heightening the tension. My heart pounded against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the silence. Who was this intruder? My mind raced with possibilities. And what did they want? The questions gnawed at me, each one more terrifying than the last. The questions swirled in my mind, a terrifying symphony of doubt and dread. Every second felt like an eternity. The attic, once a place of forgotten memories, had become a stage for a chilling encounter. The air was thick with suspense, every shadow a potential threat. Section 7. The attic's grip, fear, and determination collide. I held my breath, praying the intruder wouldn't see me. But a part of me, a deep-seated curiosity, yearned to confront them, to demand answers, to unravel the web of secrets that clung to this house like cobwebs. I knew I should be terrified, I should flee, yet I was rooted to the spot, transfixed by the unfolding drama. The air crackled with tension. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of fabric sent my heart racing. The attic, once a place of forgotten memories, had transformed into a battleground, a clash between fear and determination, and I was caught in the crosshairs. Section 8. Gigi's gaze, a haunting revelation. The intruder took a step into the attic, their face still hidden in shadow. The moonlight glinted off something in their hand, metal, sharp. Fear pulsed through me, cold and relentless. But then something extraordinary happened. The ghostly figure, the apparition I had seen earlier, reappeared. She hovered near the intruder, her ethereal form shimmering in the moonlight. But this time, her eyes were open, and they were fixed on me. A jolt of understanding surged through me. Gigi wasn't warning me about the intruder. She was trying to protect them. The intruder, whoever they were, was connected to Gigi's past, and she, in her spectral form, was desperate to intervene. The revelation hit me like a physical blow. Section 9. The Unseen Hand. A lingering question. The intruder turned, as if drawn by an invisible force, and their eyes met mine. It was as if time stood still in that moment, the air thick with tension and unspoken words. For a fleeting moment, I saw fear reflected in their eyes. It was a raw, primal fear that spoke volumes, revealing more than any words could. Then, just as quickly, it vanished. The fear was replaced by something else, something much more determined, replaced by a steely resolve. It was clear that they had made a decision, one that left no room for hesitation. They turned and fled back down the stairs, disappearing into the darkness. The sound of their footsteps echoed, growing fainter with each passing second. I was left alone in the attic. The silence that followed was almost deafening, amplifying the sense of isolation. Surrounded by Gigi's haunting presence and a mystery that deepened with every passing moment. Who was the intruder? What did they want? And what was their connection to Gigi? These questions swirled in my mind, refusing to be ignored. These questions echoed in the silence, unanswered. The stillness of the attic seemed to mock my confusion. But one thing was certain. I was no longer just a writer chasing a story. I had crossed a line, stepped into a world I barely understood. I was a participant in a real-life mystery, a mystery that was unfolding right before my eyes, pulling me deeper with every clue. One that was far more dangerous and far more personal than I could have ever imagined. The stakes were higher, the risks greater, and there was no turning back now.